Welcome, everyone. It's Khadija Yansani from Bloomin2.com, founder of the Client Creation Queen program. And today I am so excited to be speaking with Karen McCall, who is the founder and creator of Financial Recovery. Welcome, Karen.
Hey, Khadija, thank you for having me. It's so nice to be here.
It's so nice to have you here. For those of you that are watching, this is the third time I am interviewing Karen. She was on my first summit called Ignite Your Money Muse and my last summit called Manifest Clients Now. And I think that it's so critical and important to, when we're looking at growing our businesses, to also understand our relationship to money. And I joke that Karen is the OG, the original goddess of financial therapy and coaching. She, like I said, is the founder of Financial Recovery and Money Grit, which is a money management software. She's also the author of this amazing book called Financial Recovery, which you can find for yourself. And so she really is a true pioneer in the field of money coaching, and she's helped thousands of individuals and entrepreneurs transform their relationship with money through her own work and the money coaches she's trained. So we'll be talking a little bit about that today. So yeah, Karen, can you tell us a little bit, like, what is, I don't know, it seems like it's kind of new. I know a lot of people talk about relationship with money, but if you can tell our viewers, like, how you view what a relationship with money actually means.
You know, one of the things that I learned from one of my colleagues, Dr. David Kruger, he said that our relationship with money is the longest relationship we will ever have. And I just love that because I think it's true. Money touches every aspect of our life. And he goes on to say that it even impacts us before we're born. You know, economically, our parents, our mother, is she able to take care of herself? So it's just so interesting to think of the fact that we have this relationship with money our entire life. Now, some people say they don't have a relationship with money, but that says a lot, right?
Yeah.
So, because money touches every area of our life, I think it's really important when we look at our life that we say, okay, how do I feel about, for example, how do I feel about my home? How do I feel about my work? How do I feel about my transportation, my social life? And that we're really assessing the quality of our life. And we can look at the money that we spend in those areas, and those numbers can tell us a lot as well. So I'm a firm believer. I've been doing this, as you know, for 33 years. Wow. And this process has absolutely stood the test of time. And one of the most exciting things is, I'm a mother and a grandmother, right? And so I love having children who have had children, going out in the world. And I've done the same thing in my business with the world-class money coach training. I train money coaches so that they can go out and have the kind of life that they want to have as a money coach and help a lot of people. So 33 years, it's been a long time, but the process is still the same that it was 33 years ago. Just some of the technology has changed.
Wow. Well, it's so interesting to hear you label like the different areas of your life, because usually I feel like when I think about, if someone wants to improve their finances, I immediately think of like Susie Orman and like no lattes for you, or we're cutting out vacation. And I'm hearing you say that it's really important that we do an inventory of our whole lives and see how money reflects that. So can you tell us a little bit about how money is connected to our deeper values?
Yeah. When we examine where our money is going, and we see that we're spending money in areas where it doesn't really matter that much, we can redirect that money to areas where it will matter in our lives. And let me give you an example. One of the things that I talk about in my process is that it's important for people to discover what their truest, deepest needs are. And those needs do touch, what do you value? What's important to you? And when we explore every area of our life, we're looking for areas where we're not taking care of ourselves, we're not taking care of our needs. And number one, and by the way, I'm totally opposite of Susie Orman's approach and other people's approach who say you do not get to do anything until you're out of debt, for example, because it's not sustainable for people. It's very, very much a diet mentality. So I think if we can look at our lives and kind of take an inventory and see where we're doing without things that are really important to us, that's a really good place to start. Needs and wants list. We got to work on meeting our needs first and then have the wants. But we can't neglect our needs for 3 years or 4 years, however long it takes to get out of debt. It just is not sustainable. People get out of debt, but they don't stay out of debt with that approach.
So true. And as I hear you speak, Karen, I've heard you speak so often, but like in this moment, I'm just, people use the word mindfulness a lot, but I'm really seeing how you're bringing true mindfulness into your whole life, not just your finances, and really reevaluating everything, which is so powerful.
Well, and I love what you said about values because, and, so often we feel that we're going to be judged, that what is important to us, somebody else might judge it. And I really encourage people as they're writing about their needs and what's important to them and maybe what they don't have in their life, that they only share it with people that they really trust, because I really want to say to anybody who's listening to this, your needs are unique to you and they're important. Now, I know that sometimes it's confusing for people. Well, what is a need and what is a want? And so I encourage people, if they're doing their needs and wants list and they're stuck, oh my gosh, is this a need or a want? Put it on both lists, because it will get clear over time. And that may seem like a really simple exercise, but I will tell you, it's a step that can hugely make a difference. I'll just give you an example.
Please.
Working with a woman a few years ago, a therapist who she had made her deprivation list, her needs list. And she said, oh my gosh, I have only a kitchen table to do work on at home. And I have all these insurance papers to fill out. I would love to buy a desk. And, we could get desks at all price limits, right? And she would put the desk in, but what she found is she was continually sabotaging and spending money in other areas. So what she discovered was, for example, meals out. So on her spending plan, she wrote meals out I enjoy, meals out I don't enjoy. And she was looking at the fact that she was single and alone. She took every offer to go out to dinner, but sometimes people were there just to kind of pick her brain as a therapist. It wasn't an equal kind of relationship, during dinner. So she started separating those out, and you know what? That's the money that she then started saving from those dinners that she didn't enjoy to buy the desk and to start buying the other things. And her social life improved because she only accepted invitations where she knew it was going to be reciprocal. Hey, you want to be here to spend time with me, and I want to be here to spend time with you. So it sounds like a little thing, but you do a few of those a month, you can buy a desk before long. And what happens when people start, if we look at people who do not meet their needs, it's like they're not worthy. They just don't feel like I deserve or I'm worthy of this. And so as people start taking care of little things, some things cost money to take care of and some don't. But as we start paying attention, something inside starts changing. We open up, we become more of a vessel to actually accept and have things come into our life so that we do feel more fulfilled and more satisfied. It moves us away from that constant sense of deprivation and, just feeling like there's never enough, never will be enough. My life really sucks. It's a process, but those little steps really start making a difference in people's lives.
It's one of the reasons why I so appreciate your approach. And recently I saw a training that you did. It was on clothing deprivation. And then you were talking about how the person maybe was isolating because, they can't go on a date because they feel like they don't have the right clothes. And in this story where you're illustrating, like, she doesn't have a desk to properly do her work. And on one level, people might be thinking, oh, well, a need is food, water, shelter, not a desk. But if you don't have the right setup, that impacts your emotions, it impacts everything. So I'm really seeing how, like you said earlier, money touches so many aspects of our lives.
Yeah, and I love that you mentioned the clothes, because again, I once in a while people will have a reaction. Well, isn't that shallow that you want to have nice clothes or look nice? And I say, really, everyone deserves to have a wardrobe that is comfortable, that they feel good in, regardless of their size, regardless of their financial situation, to learn to say, when I buy something for myself, I want it to be something that I like and it makes me feel good. But so often we're geared to, let's just go and make do, buy those things on sale. Don't really quite like it, wrong color, not even the right size, but I'll lose weight soon. And so people will have a closet full of clothes like that. They wake up in the morning, they go to their closet, they don't feel good about going into their day. So I know for some people that might be kind of hard to get, but I'm telling you, looking at all those areas of your life where you're taking care of yourself, clothes, self-care, medical care, our social life, our spiritual life, it's really, really important.
It's so important. So can you tell us a little bit about your money coaching program and why you even started it?
Okay, I sure will. Well, started working with clients started my business in 1988. Had my first client February 2nd, 1989. So it's been a long time. And that very, very first client, after a couple of years, said, this work has changed my life. I want you to train me to do what you're doing. So that was my very first client. And that story just repeated itself over and over. So in the beginning, I had some kind of informal trainings with people who'd been my client. And what I realized over time was there were a lot of people that were probably dissatisfied in their jobs like I was. I came from corporate America. And so I launched the World Class Money Coach training. And so over these years, I've been able to train men and women, mostly women. Women are more attracted to the self-help fields, but it has been, as a grandmother, it's so wonderful to watch my kids, I have kids, but to watch the money coaches who have gone through the training, who have been able to create a lifestyle that fits where they are now. So for example, a school teacher who becomes a money coach and is able to take time off when she's pregnant and having her babies, right? And then pick it up. People like me that came from corporate America that said, I'm really tired of that. I really want to start my own business. And so it's a business that is designed so that people can create the kind of lifestyle that they want to have. To me, the number two things that are important in our work life is, number one, that we feel we're making a difference. My number one value is I like to help people and also to make a good living doing it. So part of the training is to help the people that we're taking through the training to unlock their earning power and to see what their relationship to earning money is. So we don't just explore what we spend, we also explore money coming in and what is our relationship to earning money.
Mm-hmm. Would you say that, can you tell us a little bit about the people who take the training? Are they primarily coaches, or do some people do it just because they want to transform their relationship to money?
We've had people from the financial industry, CPAs, financial planners, advisors, a lot of life coaches decide to take this training because they really enjoy having something really concrete and measurable to work with their clients on. I've had retired people who want to supplement their income, so it's more of a side hustle. And so mental health, a lot of mental health professionals, that's where I marketed in the beginning in San Francisco and your area where you are. And so many of those people became my clients, right? And then they became part of the training as well. So what's important, one of the questions that we get is, do you have to have all of your money, all of your ducks in a row? Well, obviously, we want someone, everyone who takes the training says their relationship to money improves as they do it. But you don't have to have everything perfect. I'll tell you, recovery is never a journey, that's straight up like that. So if somebody is wondering about the training and they're just curious about, hey, are they in good enough shape financially, they can always have an appointment with me to discuss. And I'm very honest with people. I spoke with a woman the other day who was considering the training, and it was so clear what she really needed was a money coach. She wasn't ready for training. So it's all walks of life. We've had people who have been architects, lawyers. So it's important that a person has a desire to help people and that they are process oriented. This is not a quick fix kind of process. We keep our clients over a long period of time. It's a great business model for two reasons. One, you get to keep your clients long enough to really see the changes.
Yeah.
You take them from where they are to where they want to go. And that doesn't happen overnight. So it's a good business model because you earn a good living as you build your practice. You have clients you're seeing once a week, but also over time, then maybe you're seeing them once a month or 3 or 4 times a year. So it's a great business model in terms of, as you're building your practice, some people set it up so it's like 6 weeks of coaching, right? Or 6 months. To me, that's not long enough for people to transform their relationship to money. So this process unfolds over a much longer period of time. And as I said, it's 2 things. It's job satisfaction because you see the changes. And it's also a really good business model in terms of earning money.
I love that. And what would you say is like the biggest key, especially for entrepreneurs, to unlocking their earning potential?
I think people have to look at 2 things. And then they can also go to my website. I've got a free ebook called Is Your Work Working? Where we look at, is your work working and the money doesn't? Is the money work and the job doesn't? Or do neither? Or maybe both work. But for people to start exploring it at that level. But I think one thing for entrepreneurs is that very early step of setting their fees. Quite often, if people have not been able to get to that point where they really see the value of what they're offering, and so they offer a lower fee than they're really comfortable with. One of the things that does is it causes resentment. And then the other thing is so that doesn't work if fees are set too low. And if fees are set too high and a person doesn't know what their earning ceiling is, they're going to bump up against that, and that's going to be problematic. So you have to look at what the floor is and what the ceiling is, and then make sure that you're charging enough that you do not feel resentful. And then you have to do the work around your earning ceiling because so many of us have it. I remember the very first time I said I wanted to earn $80,000, which is probably 35 years ago or something. It was hard to say. And the person I said it to said, well, you know what? You've been making 60. So isn't that a pretty big jump? Not the kind of response I needed, right? But what I've recognized is to go from 80 to 100 and from 100 to 150 and on up. Quite often there's some work that needs to be done where we are able to break through that earning ceiling. And that is just really just looking at your setting rates and your earning ceiling and do some work in there. And then go in and fill out that ebook that I sent where you're doing exercises around your entire relationship to earning money. So I have exercises in there where you list every job, how you got it, how you were paid, how you felt about the pay. It's an exercise that will start you really thinking about, is your work working or not working for you? Is the money working or not working for you? And then there's some guidance in terms of what you do about it.
Thank you for sharing that ebook. We'll definitely share that in the comments. And I just love what you said about, because this whole issue of pricing definitely comes up a lot in my community. I love that you said that if you charge what you don't feel good about your pricing, you're going to feel resentful, and that's not going to help you deliver the value that you mean to. Like, that's not why you got into business in the first place. And I love that, just that, the floor and the ceiling. Can you share with folks, and I know you can't go in depth, but like in terms of your world-class money coaching program, how do you begin to break through that ceiling? If your ceiling maybe is like at 80,000 or less, or whatever that number is for the person, what kinds of things do you walk them through to help them and their clients have a breakthrough?
I love that question, and I'll tell you why. When a person is going through the training, it's an experiential process, right? And so one of the tools that we use, you mentioned earlier, is Money Grid, right? And we have a business version and a personal version. So one of the first steps is a person having a very clear idea, if they were meeting their needs and having a decent lifestyle, what would they need to pay themselves? So that's the number one figure you want to come up with. And then the next figure you want to come up with is to grow your business, to start and grow your business. How much money do you need? And so again, it's based in concrete numbers rather than just the mindfulness, just the thinking about money, or, oh, I'll think my way rich, I'll just just imagine it and it's all going to happen. No, you get really grounded in the numbers. So I'll give you an example. A client, this is a high-end photographer in San Francisco. And we did his annual spending plan, both for personal and business, how much he needed to earn. And in his case, because he was really high end, it was only 2 more jobs a year. Mm-hmm. But in his mind, he had such a low earning ceiling that in his mind, he could never get it. So by not even ever looking at the numbers, he didn't realize how close he was. Mm-hmm. So it all works together in terms of establishing your needs, starting to meet them. That starts shifting things immediately. And then when a business owner knows exactly what they need to earn. So for example, if somebody's been working in corporate America and now they want to go out on their own, they've got to think about paying for their own medical insurance, all those kinds of things. That can stop people from wanting to take that step into their own business. But if you get the numbers and then you come up with an earning plan about how you're going to do it, then we start seeing the possibilities. But it's a process that unfolds over time, but the coaches that go through the training are going through it experientially. They're working with a money coach. They'll be doing these exercises. And so, that's how we help them break through. So they're learning how to work with clients with this, but then they're also learning how to do it for themselves. So it's a wonderful combination.
It is. And that's what I love about your work, that it's grounded in the numbers, but it's also very heart-based. So mm-hmm. I know that you have an upcoming webinar. Can you share with folks a little bit about it?
Yes. It's Thursday. Prepared. I still use a paper calendar. I use Google Calendar too, but I still really love this. It is Thursday, September 2nd at 1:00 Pacific.
Okay. And tell us about what they can expect to learn in the webinar.
Well, you're going to meet some money coaches so they can tell you what their life is like and what their process has been. And then one of the things that we'll describe is what I call the success path, right? That this is where you're starting. And to be able to launch your business as a money coach, there are all these steps and that we address all of them. One of the main concerns for a new entrepreneur is marketing, right? So we even we have a process where, first of all, you're learning about the philosophy and the methodology of financial recovery and the work. And then you're really learning about money grit. You would be doing that with your coach. That's included in the training. And then how to work with clients, and then how to launch your business. So I find that a training that really helps people know that they're going to get that support as they launch. Mm-hmm. And then there's additional training that people can take where the whole focus for another 6 months, because the first 4 phases are for 6 months, and that next 6 months is all about client retention and building your business. So Michael Ann Valterra, who's one of my best money coaches, I call her our master money coach, she and I have continued to educate ourselves over the years. I've taken Rifolio's B School. She's taking Amy Porterfield's. I've taken Amy's. So we have a lot of knowledge because we've continued to be students ourselves that we can include in the training that's really, really helpful in launching a business.
Beautiful. Well, we will definitely have the link to that upcoming training this Thursday. Any final thoughts, Karen, that you have on financial recovery, on unlocking your earning power?
Hey, if you're somebody who's a candidate for training, wonderful. Please sign up to attend the webinar next Thursday. If you can't attend, there will be a recording. For others of you who might think, oh my gosh, I'm really suffering financially, go to financialrecovery.com, send an email, say you need help, we'll hook you up with a money coach. My book, one of the things about the book is I really did a good job of outlining the financial recovery process. Sometimes people can take a self-help book and apply it. Others may need their hand held as they're going through the process. So we try to cover you, whatever your journey is.
Every base, yeah.
Yeah, whatever your journey is, where you are on your journey. That's what I'm trying to say. Wherever you are on your journey, check in and we can help you.
Beautiful. thank you so much, Karen. I so
Thank you.
appreciate the
Good
work that
job.
you do in the world. And you can also pick up a copy of her book, Financial Recovery. You can find it on her website, and we'll have the training coming up this week here in the comments. And let us know, what are your biggest takeaways from this conversation? We would love to hear.
Mhm.
And
Absolutely.
until next time.
Yep.